I'm Megan Bennett.
I'm Lesley Meyer.
And this is Gen X Women Are Sick of This Shit.
Good afternoon, Megan.
Hello, Lesley.
How are you today?
You have a very deep voice.
Darling.
Is this because you're getting over a cold?
Sure, yeah. I just think it sounds cool. Yeah, I did have a cold. We were going to try to record.
Your nose is a little stuffed up.
Still a little drippy.
Yeah.
We were going to try to record last Saturday.
I'm glad we didn't.
And me too, because I would have coughed and coughed and coughed and coughed and coughed. You were doing something kind of fun. Oh,
no.
You were doing some political something.
Yeah, we had a local Democrat hootenanny thing where we had to vote for who was going to be
nanny.
who was going to be in charge of the local stuff.
Gotcha.
So that was fun. And then I got to go help my mama out because she's been ill. So, yeah, you know.
The things that we are doing as Gen X women.
The squish generation.
We are super squished.
Waiting for it.
Happy International Women's Day.
Yay! Happy International Women's Day to you as well. We should all have a cake.
All women all over the world.
All women should have cake.
All women should have cake.
Or creme brulee or whatever the hell you want.
Whatever.
It's your day.
You want. Yeah. It's your day.
It's your goddamn day. You can have a bath. And eat a brownie in your bath if you wish.
If you would like, with candles.
Mm-hmm. And champagne.
Sure.
If you wish. You can do anything you want.
Mostly. Mostly. If you
robbing a bank is probably frowned upon.
Right. And
probably frowned upon.
And in places where women don't have the right to do whatever they want.
That's true.
We support you and we send love and solidarity. And we will advocate for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that is shit that we're sick of.
We are sick of that. I'm sick of some other stuff too.
What else are you sick of, Megan?
Girlfriend.
Tell me about it.
I had to get up early on a Saturday morning, which right off sucks.
Why? Why, pray tell?
Because I needed to go to the pharmacy to get a fucking measles shot.
My golly. Why on earth in 2025 would you have to go get a measles shot, Megan?
Well, because you see there are people out there who I guess don't remember that measles killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
And blinded people and made them very sick. And so they've just chosen to not have vaccinations. And now we're seeing outbreaks of measles in different communities and it's just spreading and it's freaking me the fuck out. I'm immune compromised. Yeah. I have to be smart. I have to take care of stuff. I presume I'm still protected from being a kiddo at one time and being vaccinated, but I don't know. So,
no. And we are of a certain age where we don't necessarily know which version of the vaccine that we got.
Right.
And so you may be eligible for a booster. You can also get a test
the
done.
Titus test. It looks like tits. Anyway,
you can get your titers done.
Your titers, that's what tested.
It is.
Yeah,
to see your level of immunity. But you could also just go get a booster.
Just go get it. That's what I did. It was like the test to have to check your immunity was much higher than the cost of. Actually, my insurance thankfully covered the cost of the shot anyway. Booster. So it was like
amazing. Why
wouldn't I just go do that?
I also got a text this morning reminding me to go get my pneumococcal vaccine.
I'm supposed to do that too, but now I'll wait. Let this,
just a little bit.
I'm not a big fan of getting multiple vaccinations on a day, not because I'm afraid anything's going to happen, because I'm not, but also my arms just get really sore.
Do they get sore?
And I don't want to do two on a day.
I did my flu and my COVID on the same day. Mm-hmm. That was a good time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Both arms.
They're a little sore. You're like, I can't lift my arm.
Nope.
The one that hurts, though, and I'm not, you absolutely should get it. Everybody should get it. 100% should get it when you hit 50 years old. Or if you're at risk earlier, if you can do it, is shingles. That one hurts. It is totally worth it. But my God, my arm was throbbing.
Was it bad?
Yeah. Well, it's two doses.
Right. Yeah.
So you do it and then you wait like 3 months or something and you do it again.
And you get your second one. I had no trouble with it.
Oh, good.
So I will advocate. I will say, people, that is also possible. It
good.
was minimal. I think my second one I might have felt like I had the chills a little bit one night, but I was
just tired.
Good.
My arm was sore and I was exhausted.
Mhm.
Like I was like, I think I'll go to bed a little early. And that's fine. Like,
I don't want the shingles.
No.
Oh my Lanta.
My grandmother had it.
Same.
And she got it in her like face and her back and everything.
She?
Yeah.
My grandmother had, it was like a band kind of around her chest.
Oh, like breast, like where her bra would hit kind of
so
thing?
she was like, no bras.
Yeah.
She just wore like tank tops and sweatshirts. And it was compared to what I've read, because I was not aware of the severity of contracting shingles. People have gone blind.
Yeah.
Because of the shingles. You can end up in the hospital. It can continue for years.
Yeah.
So she recovered, thankfully. I think it was probably 2 or 3 weeks. But fuck no.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
Really bad.
And I had chickenpox twice back in the days. And I didn't even get sent to a chickenpox party. I had like kind of 2 mildish cases, or one rougher case and then a mild case.
Yeah.
So I don't want that.
No.
Nor do I want the measles.
No. And I have read that there are parents who are talking about measles parties. It's insane.
Fucking
it's
insanity.
Insane. It's here are 14 kids at a party. Statistically, one of them is going to die. So great. That sounds fabulous.
Let's not do that. We still die from the flu, folks.
Right. Like, come on. Anyway, I'm a little pissed about that. That's something I'm very sick of.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Speaking of women's health.
Yeah. Tell me what you got something going on.
I have a recent health issue as someone who's 2.5 years into post-menopausal, 2.5 years post-menopausal.
You had your menopause single day, and then
one event that you don't even really know has happened until after
talk about having a cake.
So you don't get a party
until
after the fact. The other night I had some bleeding, which was a little unnerving. 2.5 years postmenopausal. Did I fuck around?
You did not fuck around.
Did I go on Reddit? Yes. Did I put a post in a Facebook group? No. I called my GD doctor the very next day and left a message with all the basics, and they called me back that afternoon, and I will be going to get an ultrasound next week.
Good.
So we're like, out of 100 cases of that, 10% turns out to be something a little bit more serious. However, I'm not going to sit around and wait to find out later on.
No, yeah.
So just an advocacy for like, call your doctor, call your GYN.
If something feels off, if something is weird and different, then call your doctor. That's what they're there for.
Yep. And if you are postmenopausal, bleeding is not normal. I've been on HRT for more than 6 months.
Yep.
Not normal. You need to go and take care of yourself.
And it's not something that you should immediately go worst case scenario in your head.
Absolutely not.
Because it could be other things. But also advocate for yourself. Do something good for yourself.
Yes.
Take yourself to the doctor.
Don't
wait on it because if it is something serious, you want to jump on that as quick as you can.
Sooner the better. So I will update when we find out more, and we'll just go from there.
Yeah, please do.
This episode will air on the 15th of March.
You know what that is? That's a couple days before a big old holiday.
St. Patty's Day. 2 days before St. Patty's Day. And I will be working at a big St. Patty's Day party in Indianapolis on the east side.
That's very cool. I love St. Patrick's Day. It's so fun. And just not that bagpipes are Irish in any way, shape, or form, but the pipers are always out.
There are Irish pipers.
There are, but you get the big Scottish pipers that are out too, because they're like, we'll take this day too.
Yeah. So on the east side of Indy, there's the Golden Ace, which is hosted.
Oh my God, that
Indy's
place.
Longest St. Patty's Day party.
And let me just, for those of you listening who have absolutely no idea about the Golden Ace is about the size of maybe a village
stamp.
Pantry. Like it is a small, like little gas station type size bar.
Yep.
It's old. It smells mildewy and vaguely like old cigarettes and booze.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Been there for a long time.
That place is the most rockin' St. Patrick's Day party.
Yes.
You could ever imagine. There's tents and parking lots and
Bands.
people parking and walking from like blocks and blocks and blocks away. You can't
Super
touch
fun.
it with a 10-foot pole. It's amazing. So cool.
And now there is a second.
Now you've got your
big
party place.
St. Patty's Day party on the east side of Indianapolis at the Snug of
That's gonna be
Irvington.
awesome.
On South Audubon, 210 South Audubon. And we will be hosting a big one-day event on the 15th. As you are listening to this, it's noon to 10. Live music
If
all
you're
day
local,
long.
get your booty there.
Go.
That'd be fun.
Do both. Get an Uber, get a Lyft, have a sober driver, enjoy yourself. Come and hang out.
Good Irish whiskey. Do you guys have special drinks? Are you doing special
super
drinks?
simple? No, we'll have all Irish drafts. I think we're doing like picklebacks that day and green tea shots. So we're going to feature Jameson and,
Okay.
kind of the basics. But combo Irish whiskey and International Women's Day.
Yeah.
I have 2 bottles here sitting next to me. From
Because
JJ Corey.
you've got a person, like a Gen X woman that is an
Yeah.
Irish.
Louise McGuane of JJ Corey Whiskey. She is the founder. She is the first, Ireland's first whiskey bonder in 50 years, first female Irish whiskey bonder.
And what part
ever.
of Ireland?
She is in County Clare.
Oh, no, lovely.
And these 2 bottles are Women's Day releases. So that was the first Women's Day release, The Whiskey Thief, in 2020.
Can I smell it?
Yeah, fuck yeah. It's really good.
Can I take a
My
big
good
hit?
friend
I'll take a
Matt
big pull.
gave that to me for my birthday this past year.
Ooh, caramely.
Delish.
Ooh, that smells good.
And then this was last year's release, which we picked up when we went over last March. This was done with Jennifer Nickerson, who is the founder of Tipperary Distillery. And she and Louise did this release together.
Oh, that's cool.
It's very different.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very different whiskey.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Very different than the other one, too.
Mhm.
Like wildly.
It's
That's
got a little bit more
yummy.
like there's some grapiness in there.
Yeah.
It's got a really strong wine finish. I think that's what I'm
That's
smelling.
very cool.
I actually don't know if I was supposed to get this bottle. It's not numbered. It's
don't tell.
sample number 1.
Oh.
We picked it up when we went to visit
Did you
JJ Corey last year.
You
Well, I
picked
had
up.
ordered it. No. I had ordered it and paid for it, and they couldn't ship it. And we were going. So luckily enough, when we went for our visit, we were able to literally, I just got it. Louise's sister handed it to me in a little bag. And I was so
That's
excited.
cool.
This was finished in Pedro Jimenez casks. I'm just reading the little. Okay.
We should have a little
So anyway.
toast.
So, yeah, this is badass women doing badass things, badass Gen X women doing badass things, being the first
Yeah,
doing
that's cool.
things and just saying, fuck it. This is the thing I want to do.
Yeah.
I've hit my, glass ceiling. She had kind of hit her glass ceiling in the beverage alcohol industry, and went off on her own and has this on her family farm. And it's based in the history of JJ Corey in the community, who was a whiskey bonder
That's
there.
amazing. This
And
is
she's just a very cool person.
we often hear of women who are looking for their second thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like whatever it
For
is.
sure.
Like if you worked in, I don't know, like medical transcribing for most of your life, right?
There's Louise.
And you're done with that and you want to go do something else. Or maybe you're a federal employee and you've been asked to leave,
Sacked.
right? But what do you do with your second half?
Yeah.
You know? And for me, I've been doing my thing for a very, very long time. I'm at that point. I'm like, what do I want to do?
For sure.
And maybe it's for my mental health, literally it might be just working at a jewelry store. I keep thinking about that. I'm like, there needs to be,
What
I
gives
just
you
need to
joy?
go do something. Yeah.
And what would you wake up feeling good about doing every day?
Right.
And
I'll tell you, if I could make whiskey, that might be a cool thing to do.
fuck yes.
I don't know shit about it, but that'd be really fun.
Career for me, comes out of a love of whiskey, sharing whiskey with my very dear friend Jim over Dungeons and Dragons games for many years, and the dream of the pub happening, and then us developing the whiskey club and me doing education now and coordinating events. Like, I would never have put educator in Irish whiskey on my list of like,
and here you are,
jobs. I also never would have put therapist on my list of jobs as a young person. The only thing on my list of jobs was theater degree. I'm going to be an actor.
Cheers to that. Same.
Right? And then I got my theology degree, because what's more dramatic than theater? Theology.
You
There's
just like things that start with
drama in the Bible, if you haven't noticed.
Theater and theology and
Fifthkey. There we go. It's not a part, but it's, it's so much about like people and storytelling and community. And half of what makes half of what makes working in the whiskey industry fascinating and meaningful is the story, because it's grounded in so much history and place and people, and that is important. And it's not like a thing that I sit at home by myself and sip. It is something that I share in community, because we talk about the experience of it, the smells, the memories, the taste. That's what we do during our whiskey tastings here in Indianapolis at the Snug, and
celebrating the resurgence,
right? Absolutely,
of like of something that was literally wiped out.
Yes,
and the fact that we were able to bring it back.
Yep, which is great. Incredible. And then we're just so pleased to be able to share it here in the United States and have some really exclusive bottlings and get to meet very cool people like Louise and count her as a friend.
I like the little notch out of that bottle too. It's interesting.
Oh, it's here too.
I wonder what that's
I don't know. I'm going to have to ask. Oh, look at the bottom. I have not. Is that on the bottom of that
Nothing.
one?
Not on this one.
Nice. There's the JJ Corey logo on the bottom.
I love it.
Good thing I put that cork back on. Oh, hey, me. There's Louise.
There's pictures of, we're looking at pictures of Lesley and Louise at the Snug.
Yep. We did a tasting for our bottle release. You can see the
picture
theater.
Of Lesley is like, she's telling a story.
I am.
There's lots of hand movements.
Yeah, you can tell all my training. There we go. There's Jim's. All right. Anywho, there we go. So how do we transition from this?
Girl, I don't know.
Shit that we're sick of.
We were going to talk about sad things too.
Yeah. Who died this week?
So we lost Gene Hackman.
Really fucking tragic.
In a really super sad, tragic way.
Which speaks to lots of things.
It does. I mean, it just check your elders, man.
Yeah.
It's just, I know he had his wife was with him.
Much younger,
much
good
younger,
health.
taking care of him, presumably.
Yeah. And she had a tragically contracted a virus. It's the unexpected things. We don't count on that.
Right.
Happening. You don't plan for the unexpected. And so just really difficult. And he had, I believe, Alzheimer's or dementia. So when you have cognitive decline and you're isolated, they were in a beautiful community, but
and his caretaker his caretaker and wife passed away before him. I mean, that's really sad.
It's sort of like worst case scenario of things that can happen to us as we age. So it's, a reminder to put plans in place and take good care of yourself and
maybe back up your plans because even if you've got it planned out, who knows?
Favorite Gene Hackman movie? Do you have a favorite or a memorable Gene Hackman film?
We talked when we were talking about Gene Hackman, we talked about Birdcage, which is,
fantastic.
Not the thing that he was most known for.
No.
Right?
Because nobody really Hoosiers.
Right.
Which we're remiss. We must mention.
We have to mention Hoosiers or we literally lose our Hoosier card.
Our Hoosier card.
I think.
Sorry.
But
also a phenomenal fucking movie.
Yeah. Really, really good. And he was
Indiana
obviously
basketball.
like the sports movies were a big thing for Gene Hackman. Big time. But this was like a nice departure.
Absolutely.
Because it was funny. And
Yes.
it was, it was just really cute.
And it was important in terms of the community, like the queer community, gay culture. I mean, it brought to bear, like homophobia, transphobia, politics, like all of those things. And it was a wonderful.
Well, and it humanized people in a way that like maybe we hadn't seen before on the big screen, right? You just
brilliant.
When you see I don't know, Gene Hackman, you see Nathan Lane, you see,
Robin Williams.
It's like, I don't know.
Diane Wiest. She's the mom, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, she is.
Diane Wiest in that. Oh my God. Was he in the Poseidon Adventure? Have you ever watched that?
Oh yeah. Years ago though.
I love that movie.
That one's great.
That is insane. It is a ridiculous, ridiculous film. He looks phenomenal in a turtleneck.
Is that Leslie Nielsen?
Yes, it is.
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
Of course. The French Connection.
Yeah.
Amazing movie. You watched that recently, didn't you, babe? That was so good.
Award-winning movie, right? I think French Connection was.
Probably. I believe you.
That's kind of a big deal.
I watched that vicariously. Is he Lex Luthor there? Oh, yeah. And Superman, of course.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So good.
Yeah, very good. Let's see what
else.
So
many memories
Young
for me
Frankenstein.
as a child. Oh,
of course.
Jesus. We quote Young Frankenstein all the time, along with The Birdcage. We quote that all the time.
His list of films is super long. Reds. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do remember that.
Wow. Yeah.
So just,
there's Hoosiers, No Way Out. Man, Mississippi Burning.
Mm-hmm,
oh my gosh. Postcards from the Edge. For those of you who
the
are
Unforgiven.
Postcards of the
Firm.
Edge.
Oh yeah. There we go. So many movies from the 80s and 90s.
Wyatt Earp.
Golly gee. We're just looking at the list.
This is when he got into his Western phase. He got Quick and the Dead and Wyatt Earp and fun. Yeah, we're just rolling through kind of some of his movies.
Listening audience. You don't get to look along, but you can believe us. We're here. Royal Tenenbaums, also an amazing movie.
Yeah. So he will be missed. He was obviously somebody that we all grew up with.
Yes.
We all grew up watching, his movies. And sad, super sad to lose him, extra sad in the way that we lost him.
And a good reminder just to take care of your people, take care of your health, get your vaccines, go to the doctor, damn it.
Yes. Be good to yourself and be good to others, for God's sake. Gen X Women Are Sick of the Shit is supported by Lilas, Love You Like a Sis, a Gen X women's social club.
What's Lilas, Megan?
Lilas is our off-platform, off the Books of Faces, off all of the other traditional social media. It is our space and place for Gen X women to come together, have conversations, meet each other. It's a social club.
It is a social club. It's a membership-based club. Memberships are $10 a month. That does help support us in growing the platform. We purchased a platform that would host a network of women so that you could come together and meet each other in real time.
In a safer space,
yes,
right, than a traditional social media platform, and a much more personal space. So what do we do there, Lesley?
We host movie nights where we live stream some of our favorites as they are available to us. For group watches of films from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. We host a space for a monthly book club. We host
trivia nights
once a month. We have a live text chat.
4 prizes even.
4 prizes. That's true.
Yeah.
The space is able to host like weekly text chats so that you can kind of check in real time with people. I would say the critical difference between kind of what this space is and any other social media space that I've experienced is that it is active. You will have to engage in it or be engaged in it by other people. So it's not like a passive consumption thing. It's like making connections.
Yep. And if that's what you're looking for, the opportunity to meet other people, to find people who are maybe in the same similar spaces as you are.
Like-minded, same time phase of life, navigating all of those transitions.
then this might be the right place for you. So check out Last. You can learn more about it at genxwomenpod.com.
Okay. So before we get started with this segment, and we're back. I am going to pour you a little bit. We're going to do a sip of this Founders release for International Women's Day.
That was last year's, right?
Last year's with Jennifer Nickerson. I don't think that they gave it its own name. It was just the Women's Day release.
That's a heavy pour, lady.
Well, we'll sip. Do you have other, you have a beverage of...
I do. I got a chaser. I got a chaser.
Diet
That's
beverage.
That's not what you're supposed to do with whiskey, is have a chaser. Yeah, that's not how you're supposed to do that.
There we go. So we get, there's like a light amber color in there. You sort of turn it around. It's not super oily. You don't get a ton of legs on it. It's a blend.
Yeah, like wine, you get the legs, right? You want the legs.
Well, if this was a pot still, you get much more viscousness in a pot still.
I do see some
dribbling.
I see some dribbling, which is not an actual term.
This is a single malt. I don't want to say dumb things. Matured in Rioja oak casks from Tipperary Boutique Distillery's warehouse. Oh, it's the oakiness in it. So this will have a lot of, that's that.
Oh, I like that.
Really strong. Mm-hmm. You get the oakiness on the nose. It's delicious. All right, we're going to set this
Seriously, this is why, it worked in Ireland, because it warms your whole body.
Yeah.
Just your whole warms you.
Front to back. Oh, the oak is really strong in that. Juicy. It's delicious. Okay. We're going to stop talking about this.
Is it what we think of it?
That means that's tasty.
We're going to
set this down. Here we go. Back to the microphone.
All right. Cheers. Happy International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day. Sláinte. Okay. We're going to transition to something slightly more joyful.
Yeah, celebrations, fun things, places we would go to celebrate shit.
Yes, because our conversation began with birthdays and weird birthday parties, and we were like, no, this is bigger than that.
It is bigger than that.
There was something in the...
Sorry. That was me. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, microphone. There was something about... I think it really started probably in the 60s, but something about the 70s and 80s and themed immersive restaurants, which this is a theme on the pod because we talk about Disney.
Yeah.
We talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
We talk about fantasy
escapism.
Movies. There's a clear trend here.
Oh, yeah. We could probably have an entire podcast about escapism.
That's really what this whole podcast is,
kind
Megan.
of. It feels like that, yeah.
It is escapism.
We're talking about our past. We're talking about our,
Yeah. We've decided we have something important enough to say that we should get on here and ramble along.
Uh-huh. And
I hope for the best. Hope that it brings joy to others.
Or triggers something magical in your mind where you're like, holy shit, I forgot all about Hickory Farms.
Oh, we did get a message from our last pod.
Oh, yeah?
Somebody sent a note and said, thank you so much for mentioning Excalibur. I had totally forgotten about it.
Oh, that's such a good movie.
And I was like, yes.
Yeah, that's such a good movie.
And when you watch it as an adult, it's way kinkier than I remember.
Well, that's because you were asked to leave the room.
Truth. But I even watched it in college and I didn't remember it being that kind of
because in college you were probably
hot and foxy.
Hey.
Well, true. I was doing my own hot and foxy.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, back to immersive restaurants of the 80s.
So we can transition your Excalibur to a specific restaurant
that we both want to go to. We have not been to yet.
My entire life, though, I have wanted to go to one of these.
Bum, 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 bum.
Medieval Times.
Hell yes.
And there is one in Chicago, so we should do that. And in fact,
absolutely,
we could probably ask folks in Lilas if they're in the Chicago area if they want to meet us there, and we'll have a feast.
We could do a Gen X Women Are Sick of This Shit Medieval Times meetup.
A feast.
Let's put it out there.
Watch some jousting.
Absolutely.
Eat some chicken with our hands.
To Medieval Times, are we going to dress up? Are we going to get fits and cosplay?
I think you have to.
I think that would be amazing. I would like to be Princess Knight.
I'm going to just go full princess with a big old crown.
I want armor.
Oh, okay.
And a big sword.
That's what she said. Boy.
Thank God for romantasy novels.
Yeah,
Thank you, Sarah J. Maas.
Fabulous, yeah.
Yes.
Full on.
I hope we can do some beheadings.
Daggers and, beheadings.
They should have a menopause night.
Oh, there's a royal falconer.
Oh, yeah.
Like we could have our own Lady Hawk moments.
Master Force. Do they do archery here?
I want to do,
I think that would be cool.
Be
if they do like displays of, skill, I wouldn't necessarily give that to us. But this is what we're talking about.
Can I be a princess with a crossbow?
Fuck yeah.
That'd be amazing.
You can be whatever you want. Yeah. We're making it up. Yeah. So we start with a place that we've never been, but we want to go to. But there were places.
But I love that place. Like, I mean, you walk in, right, to this place. They have jousting.
Right,
like you
kind
sit
of like
and
the Roman
watch,
Colosseum.
Right, you watch this spectacle, right? And I think there's like a king and a queen, and you're supposed to like
do
toast
all the things.
To them and all the shit.
Cheers.
I don't know.
You'll have mead, wine, ale.
I freaking love it. Actually, what we saw on the website is you could have a medieval margarita too.
Oh yeah, we were laughing about that.
That's a little weird, but whatever.
Medieval margarita. Look at that chicken on bones.
Is that like gumbo? You get like medieval gumbo?
Sure. Beans and rice.
It's a big pot.
You can also get things
stuff
that are gluten free.
Well, that's for your medieval celiacs.
Truth. Talk about a contemporary creation because of how we fucked with our food supply.
I love that. Oh, you get a medieval pina colada.
And your medieval hurricane glass. Those also happened in medieval times. But we know it's camp, it's kitsch, it's souvenirs, it's all the things. It's a break from reality, and we want to do that.
And they've been around forever. I know there's one in Orlando, too, because I've driven past, this big, giant building, and it says medieval times, and you're like, oh.
And you feel when you drive past these things, it's like exciting. You're like, this is a thing.
Yeah, there's tacky shit happening in there, and I want to be a part of it.
But this has its roots kind of in memories from our childhood. Like we were talking about kind of younger immersive experiences, and they sort of begin with like Disney, but locally Showbiz Pizza.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, and I think Showbiz was national.
They were.
Right?
They were national.
So you had, the audio animatronic characters that were...
Okay, they were founded in December 1979. So I was 6 years old.
I was 8.
Okay. And then they became national. And
that's cool.
It was.
So it's franchising, right?
Yes.
Like they franchised that would be a very expensive franchise, I would think. Because you would have the animatronics and everything too. Oh God, that fucking bear.
Yeah.
It was like absolutely terrifying.
Awesome. I mean, as a kid, Mitzi was the
mouse?
Duck mouse.
Duck mouse.
Oh, duck. I remember her.
What was the bear's name? Billy Bob.
Yeah, there you go.
Billy Bob.
And they were kind of like a jug band.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And there was when you went for a birthday party, you would get like a little 45 record of them singing happy birthday. I remember that.
Wow. That's cool. I don't remember
But even before that, here in Indianapolis, like middle school. Oh, yeah. Oh, it was a mouse with long hair.
Scary, isn't she?
But I thought
I do remember
cool.
the ape.
Oh, the gorilla.
Or the gorilla, yeah.
Yeah, ape, gorilla. I don't think he's the Rock of Fire explosion.
Oh my God. You can almost hear it, can't you, in your head?
Did evolve over time too. But before that, in the probably early 80s, late 70s, was Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor, which we've talked about before.
Yes.
Which was like an immersive restaurant experience.
Giant ice cream sundaes that you could eat with like 10 of your favorite friends.
Yes. Lots of mirrors. It was like the old soda fountains.
Red and white and and somebody playing cymbals and drums and stuff like that
loud.
For your birthday. Yeah,
yes.
like traumatically loud.
Sensory overload. I hated that part of it. But these immersive places, and on the east side, there was one that you would go to.
Yeah, so we had, this is hyper local, but we had Paramount Music Palace, which was pizza. And as I recall, very, very good pizza in a buffet type of thing. But the big part was you'd walk into this giant kind of A-frame room, and at the front of the room was this huge organ, like a church organ, but on steroids, right? So the organ sat in the middle of the room, and then there were cases around the room of the pipes themselves. So there was always somebody up there, and they were playing the organ. Now, do I think that that's something that would work today, like people just sitting around eating pizza and
listening to the pipe organ? Are those drums up there? Like, did it play automatically?
It was all pedal work, right? So they'd hit a pedal and the drums would go, and it was
super cool.
Yeah, it was really wild. But that was a pretty cool place. That was where you would go and have big birthday parties, because you would get the tables were really long. And so you could have a whole table for your family and your friends and do a Christmas party that way.
Or
a birthday party.
I don't remember going to that. That doesn't mean that we didn't do it. But I don't remember going. The sign was iconic, like the sign shape.
Yeah.
It later, I don't know what it was. It became
now,
Don Pablo's, but Don Pablo's made their sign to that sign shape.
Yep.
And then that sign fell at some point.
As one does when you're like 50 years old.
Right. And then I think it's like Indie Dive Supply or something like that.
Oh, Lord.
Now,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Great. Scuba. I'm down.
Sure.
It did have a giant water fountain. Did it always have a fountain in it?
Was that there? That's interesting. I don't remember a fountain. There might have been one in the lobby.
Because it had, when it was Don Pablo's, it had like a 2-story fountain.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that was a Don Pablo thing, that edition. But I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong.
It was great. I loved going there. It was Don Pablo's, not immersive. But other kind of experiential things from our childhood, we talked about Chi-Chi's.
Oh my God, yes. So Chi-Chi's is coming back.
Our experience of Mexican.
Chi-Chi's is coming back.
Is it really?
So excited. Yeah. So
are they going to do the birthday parties?
I don't care. I hope so. I hope all I want is that chicken chimichanga with like that green verde sauce that goes on top. Oh God, I want that so bad.
It's been so many years since I've been to a Chi-Chi's.
I crave that still to this day. Yeah.
So that was a Midwest first experience with Mexican in the 80s.
And they would,
friends.
It was loud AF.
Yeah.
And you would go in for your birthday and they would come around. This was like
there's
the beginning of my hatred of the going to places where they sing birthday songs, but you would say, oh yeah, and you used to be able to be like, oh no, it's her birthday, and even though it wasn't her birthday, and like just fuck with people. Super fun. And then all the staff would come over and be like, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you, ole. Yeah,
we're sorry.
I'm not really that sorry.
But look at the fountain.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a big fountain in there. They had amazing, I think I was too young when they finally closed to ever have a margarita, but I remember my mom talking about the margaritas being good.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So if they come back, we'll keep an eye out. Oh my gosh. I was like, what are we talking about next? I have, excuse my burp, a whole list.
Yeah. So like what's cool about these immersive experiences too are, I know there's tons, everybody in every town had something weird and unique, a restaurant or something that was like their experience. So we'll touch on a few of them as we talk today, but if you had one and you want, to share it with us, we would love to know, because
please send
some of
your
them are
stories. We
fun.
will read them on the air if you send them. Locally too, we should mention like the LS Airs Tea Room that was downtown for so many years.
And awesome.
Totally. But those very immersive places that you would go on purpose to have an experience.
Yep. The LS Airs Tea Room was big for my mom as a little kid. She told me stories, and then I would go with her and my grandmother. And there was always there was a toy chest at the end. Did you ever go?
I did not.
So there was a toy chest, and after, first of all, you'd have to get dressed up.
Yes.
Because it was a tea room.
Of
so you
course.
get all dressed up and you go, and they would have the most amazing chicken velvet soup
Yes.
ever.
You
Absolutely
can find that
delicious.
recipe on the internet. It exists.
Do it. Make it. Totally worth it. LS Air's chicken velvet soup. Cannot recommend it strongly enough. And then they would have the Ice Princess ice cream cone.
Oh,
so it was like a domed kind of ball of ice cream with meringue around the top.
Oh,
and like almost like a baked Alaska kind of thing with a little doll body. It was a ceramic doll body.
Oh, yeah.
So the meringue and the ice cream were the skirt, which was really
got
cool.
you.
And then when you were done.
Oh, look at your tea, though. The tea service.
You
with
have like a real tea
finger
service.
Sandwiches and petit fours and...
Yep.
Oh.
And then when you were done, you would
Freaking love
leave, and there was a big treasure chest, and they had little prizes, some of them all wrapped in tissue paper with either a blue or a pink ribbon, and you could pick whichever one you wanted and have like some sort of little prize.
Those memorable, like very intentional experiences.
So fun.
We still look for that today. I mean, which is kind of how we got here. We were talking about a couple places locally. We were talking about tiki restaurants and tiki places, tiki bars, because that certainly goes into Disney and some of the other places that we were talking about.
And that tiki experience, like there's a whole tiki subculture of people who just travel around and go to all those tiki bars and collect the mugs, and then they'll take I went to False Idol in San Diego, which is
amazing.
So cool. And everybody brings, I don't know, I was there on a Wednesday or something, and everybody brought back like their favorite tiki mug.
Okay.
And they would have like the bartender make their drink in their favorite mug.
Your mug.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
So cool. And some of them are elaborate and fabulous. Look out, that's False
gorgeous.
Idol.
So beautiful. Locally, we have Strange Bird, and we have... Strange Bird is in Irvington on the east side. And then in Fountain Square, we have, it just went out of my brain. We've said it like 10 times. We're cool.
This can all be edited.
The Inferno Room.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah. So then so we've got
Here we go. Strange Bird locally on the east side in Irvington, which is a tiki themed restaurant. They have an incredible cocktail menu. It's very immersive. It's got a great vibe. And then they have the Show You Shop, which is ramen. And then we have in Fountain Square,
the Inferno Room, which is really cool. It's like multiple levels. The people who own it went and basically curated all the things that are hanging on the walls. So the masks and the big bamboo things and all the stuff. There's also a little one that's on the back end of a taco shop in Fountain Square too.
Oh, yeah.
That those little tiki places are so fun.
And there's my used to be dining room, which was now a tiki room.
Oh, your dining room
whiskey cabinet is in it's a tiki cabinet. It's amazing. So, and we have this little place in Brown County that we go who imports tons of stuff, and we collect tiki items from them to decorate our room.
I love
because we were like, this room becomes a laundry dump. Why am I having a table in here? It's still a laundry dump, but now it's a lounge.
End all be all of the tiki rooms, I think, maybe not the end all be all, but one of the best. Iconic is Trader Sam's at Polynesian and Disney.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, when the walls start talking to you and
and giving you shit,
that's pretty cool.
And when you get yelled at for ordering certain drinks, it's a wonderful immersive experience.
Agreed.
So what do you think it is about these immersive experiences that we seek out?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's just a nice way of escapism, right? We talked about that. It's just something unique, and it's an adventure in itself, but then like you just get to try something new and just, be separate from your regular Wednesday night dinner of fish sticks and mac and cheese, right? You get to go do something completely different.
That's pretty close to true. It's either tuna salad.
Yeah, see?
Fish sticks and mac. We'll see what goes.
Little Stouffer's something or other that you just shove in the oven.
Frozen dinners, Totino's party pizzas. There was... locally, well, we were kind of digging back in the 80s. There was this like rash of kind of big burger places. There's like Fuddruckers. Somebody mentioned the Ground Round as a local kind of immersive experience.
Johnny Rockets.
Johnny Rockets was like in the 90s. Some of these aren't as dramatic as others in terms of like immersiveness. Oh, for a while in Chicago, particularly when I was in high school, it was a thing to go to Ed DeBevick's.
Ed DeBevick's was so fun.
Where you would get yelled at.
They moved.
Okay.
But I think they're still around.
Yeah.
But they would just insult you.
Yeah. You'd pay to be insulted. It was magnificent.
But it was totally worth it because the food was really good.
And we talked about, the pictures from Ed DeBevick's. We also talked about contemporarily like Rainforest Cafe, which came out in the 90s.
Yeah, Rainforest Cafe. And then there's a dinosaur one also that's at Disney.
T-Rex Cafe. You talked about that. We were loving that. Do you have memories? Were there places that you visited either when you were traveling as a kid, like for vacation, that were sort of immersive, memorable restaurants?
So I went to the original Hard Rock Cafe in London. Which
Amazing.
was really, really cool. Yeah, like, so that one was, and I know I bought something when I was there, and I can't remember what the hell it was.
The standard iconic.
Maybe I got a
t-shirt.
I don't know. I don't know.
It was incredibly
cool.
To have.
Maybe I got a pin for my denim jacket or whatever. Sure. But yeah, so that was a very, very cool place. And we in Indianapolis had our own Hard Rock for a long time, and we don't have it any longer. No. It's gone. But along with the Hard Rock, you had the Hollywood one, right? Why can't I think of the name?
I even have it written down, but I don't see it.
Planet Hollywood.
Thank you. Sometimes we just need Tim to jog our brain a little bit.
Pick up the words that
Planet
we promised.
Hollywood.
Planet Hollywood.
Which I think like a bunch of different stars own pieces of. I know Arnold Schwarzenegger had like a share of Planet Hollywood. So
that's amazing.
That's dumb knowledge that I keep.
And we talked about like in the 90s, 2000s, like Dick Clark's American Bandstand restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
Margaritaville.
Margaritaville. I have been to the original of that one as well.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. Key West.
Oh.
Yeah. It's fabulous.
I think Key West is its own immersive experience.
It really is. I agree.
That is magnificent. When I was a kid, and I think this probably started my love of like what I imagined tiki was. Mm-hmm. We used to vacation prior to my mom's death. We would vacation in Florida, like in Madeira Beach. And in Clearwater was this wild restaurant called the Kapok Tree Inn. And you would walk up, and like when you were waiting to go in, they had these two giant kind of like Easter Island
like big statues
out front. So it was a real like Florida white person's mishmash of cultural appropriation, as well as a dose of colonialism thrown in there. And also it kind of had this like nature preserve-y vibe. There was a giant fucking kapok tree in the front of the restaurant that evidently had been there since like 1880.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Check that out.
Like, that's an old postcard from it. That's wild.
So it was that much of an experience. Like we would dress up, you would wander through, I think there were like 20 some odd rooms in this sprawling complex. There were fountains. It was open and airy and light. There were gardens. I mean, look at every room was an experience. So in my mind, I connected that with like going to Disney. It was an insane restaurant, but it was known randomly for its fried biscuits with apple butter. Very Midwest.
Yeah.
It seems like they're also, I guess, ultimately Southern. But like, look, you can see like the glass kind of nautical, like the lights up there. So to me, like there was something about sitting and dining in this like fully immersive experience.
It seems super magical.
That got planted in my soul. We probably started going there when I was like a toddler.
Yeah.
So, and it was really special to get to go. And something about that attached to like the magic of Disney and then just my giant imagination and reading fantasy books all the time. Like this is what life is.
I'm going to have to ask my mom if this is something we ever went to, because we traveled to Florida all the time.
Okay.
When I was a kid, my grandma on my dad's side, grandma and grandpa on my dad's side lived down there. So I feel like this is something that we would have done.
So you can like Google this. There are whole like archive pages about this place with like the postcards and stuff that were in it. It was just...
That's cool.
It was really cool. I can't imagine how expensive it is to maintain places like this, which is probably why it ultimately closed.
Well, and it doesn't surprise me, I guess, that this is in Florida, because it seems like, you know, Disney would have just spawned more and more things like this. Oh,
interesting.
Right?
Yeah, good thought. Sure. I'll buy that.
I mean,
that is our like
that's my bullshit.
Gen expert, not an expert bullshit in there. Yeah, that's
I don't even know, but that's my guess.
I think you're totally right. Let's take that.
My favorite immersive experience of all time.
Oh yes, tell me.
Of all time. It's a Disney thing.
Oh, okay.
So Pleasure Island, which is now been replaced by Disney Springs. So it was a whole complex that had bars and restaurants and nightclubs and all the things. So basically you could pay to go to this particular island and then pop around to all these different bars. The best one was a place called the Adventurers Club.
Amazing. Tell me about
Congaloosh, for those of you who know what I'm talking about.
Congaloosh. Okay.
It was 3 stories. You'd start at the top and you would work your way down. And
you did.
It was...
Is that Zeus?
Yeah, I think so.
He's naked.
You'd walk all the way around and down this ramp, basically, into the bottom. And there were multiple little rooms, but it was set up to be a 1930s style adventurers club where where the hunters would show up. And like
complete with like colonialism, but
we don't
emphasize that.
Right. And there were animal heads all over the walls, and some of them talked and some of them didn't.
Okay.
And there was a room of masks. The mask room was amazing, and the masks would argue with each other. So you'd sit in there and they would have arguments.
Classic
and
Disney.
You'd sit there and have drinks and they would argue, with each other. And then there were actors and actresses that were there, and they would take on these different roles. So you would have like the head of the Adventurers Club, Colonel something or other. And then you would have maids, and you would have like the Colonel's wife, and then you would have the sexy I don't know, like strumpet type character. I don't know.
Sure.
But they would
the vivacious vixen.
But they would interact with each other, and in the most perfect, just avant-garde guerrilla theater kind of way.
Wow. So it wasn't so much scripted.
Not scripted. They would just have stories over the course of an evening.
Okay.
And they would, interact with the people who were there just having a drink.
Great.
And then at some point, I think a couple times a night, they would invite everybody who was there into this big room.
Okay.
And they would basically bring you in as a member of the Adventurers Club. And so you would take the oath, and you would get a little pin, and you would learn.
I love it.
Congaloosh, which is, the
word
your,
that they
your
made
cheers.
Up to say.
It's your cheers. Yeah. So
there were T-shirts.
Congaloosh. Yeah, it was amazing, and I'm so sad that it's gone. But I would love to see a resurgence of that particular thing somewhere.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I guess like things like these, like this is fully improvisational, which seems really cool. They just have like themed characters and then a basic storyline, and then they continue in the environment playing off of the audience.
Exactly.
So this is sort of like pre-dinner theater, like murder mystery dinner theater kind of immersive.
It's pre-exit room, murder mystery things. Absolutely.
But there's something about creating these environments that are such an important part of this. That walking into magic that we have lost in some of most contemporary dining experiences.
Yeah, for
that
sure.
I hope kind of re-emerges in ways.
All right, Lesley, you have to tell us.
So we started this. So before we came on today, before we started recording, I don't even know how we got on the topic.
Well,
I know.
Planning a trip.
Daylight savings time is what brought this up. Here you go.
I don't even know how this
is the genius of an ADHD brain, because I looked on Instagram and I said, damn it, tomorrow is daylight savings time. And I was grumpy about the time change, even though I love longer days. And I said, thank you, Casa Bonita, for telling me that. And then Megan said, what's Casa Bonita?
What the hell is Casa Bonita?
And I said, oh my God, you don't know about Casa Bonita?
And this is how this whole conversation got started.
We're reenacting.
No, I don't know about Casa Bonita. Please tell me more.
Let me tell you
about
Casa Bonita. Casa Bonita is in Colorado. Is it
in Denver?
No.
No?
Clear.
It is in Denver.
No, it's in like a smaller area. Okay.
You are 0 for 3 right now.
No. I looked.
I know you looked.
It is in a Denver, Colorado suburb.
I'll wait.
It is.
It is where?
It is in Lakewood.
Oh.
It's a suburb.
Colorado.
It's a suburb.
Both wrong.
Lakewood.
It's a suburb.
And the reason that we were talking about Casa Bonita is because of fucking South Park. And the creators of South Park, Casa Bonita started in the 50s.
It looks
Pull up the history.
Very 50s.
It was
right?
originally, it opened in the 70s? It was in the 70s. So it is of this era. And the creators of South Park are Gen X men. And it was of this era of immersive restaurants. It was sprawling. It was pink. It was filled with magic. There were like caves and pirates and divers that would dive into a pool inside of the restaurant. Lakewood, Colorado, opened in 1974.
And it was part of a Mexican entertainment restaurant chain that started in Oklahoma
City.
So I suspect like other people know about Casa Bonitas.
So this is only.
Can we read the last sentence for me right here?
Where?
On the first paragraph, that last sentence. The
oh,
restaurant.
Lord.
Colorado since opening.
Mommy and Daddy are fighting again.
Lakewood and the greater Denver metropolitan area.
Thank you very much.
But I knew it was.
Oh, boy.
White man. Anyway, Casa Bonita was a one and only in terms of its location. It was sprawling. Show me photos now so we can narrate this.
So it temporarily closed March 2020.
Yes.
Because everything closed, right?
Yeah. But it had, so there is a documentary that you can watch. You don't have to believe any of the bullshit I'm spewing at you. There is a documentary about it because the creators of South Park purchased the building. They wanted to renovate it because one of them had grown up going there.
Yeah, look at this thing.
Which one was it?
Wild.
Matt? Was it Matt? We watched this documentary. This is
they both did because they're both from Colorado. They both went here, but
that's how civvy my brain is. So it is. I mean, look, it's totally immersive. It's tropical. It's beautiful.
There are cliff divers.
This is a whole show. There are performances. There's a puppet show. It is like for kids. It is magnificent. So the documentary is fascinating. They went through hell and high water to open this thing. It ended up costing them $40 million to complete the renovation. But it speaks to like the power of these magical, immersive, escapist experiences where from beginning to end, you are transported somewhere, you are attended to, like you are the focus of the experience. And I mean, it's
tropical and fabulous.
Saved this thing because it was that important.
Yes, but
them.
How's the food?
Now, phenomenal.
Okay. All right.
Used to
I'll
be
believe you.
Shit. But now,
but
phenomenal.
They've made like better food out
they
of
hired this amazing chef. She recreated many of the dishes and like elevated them. She was like super well known in the area. Don't trust me for all the details, but this is true. I'm not going to say names because they all escape me.
I want to go to there.
I know. So reservations for May opened up March 1st. So you have to make reservations a couple months in advance and go.
That's fantastic.
So,
okay.
And it reopened in
Casa Bonita
2023. And I think it was like a year before anybody could get a reservation.
Which I believe just means the pretty house.
Yeah, true.
No, there
house
you go.
Beautiful.
House
Would
beautiful.
That be it? House pretty. I love it.
Pretty house.
So there you go. I think that's kind of like the height of restoring and bringing back one of these fully immersive experiences.
This means that there's hope for me in a future Adventures Club, right?
Hell yeah.
So I just need $40 million.
$40 million. It was only supposed to be 6.5. When you watch the documentary, your heart just sinks with them. And when you see the inside of it, like the lack of upkeep over the decades, I mean,
so it's
truly.
Like for those of us who really love those bad shows about fixer-uppers and stuff like that, it's like the ultimate fixer-upper.
It'll totally scratch your itch. And just the fact that they were able to follow through with it is pretty magnificent.
Ultimate fixer-upper.
But I would even, to like kind of circle back, like earlier we were talking about, you know, St. Patty's Day in Indy and immersive experiences. And I think that like the Snug was designed with intentionality to like feel very immersive.
It feels like you are in an Irish pub.
Experiential.
Absolutely.
You know, you want to be someplace for a little while.
Right.
Where you can experience like a break, community, be in places that are intentional, that are lovely to look at with really well-crafted food or drink.
I love it.
And enjoy yourself. We need moments of joy.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that there are still a lot of places out in the world that are creative and fun.
Yes.
Because you mentioned when we were talking about this, there's a bar in New Orleans for like the Vampire Bar.
Cafe.
That's awesome. There's a place in Manhattan that I just learned about called the Jekyll and Hyde Club. It's a restaurant and bar. Which looks incredibly creepy and fabulous.
Yeah.
So the next time I go visit my daughter, I'm going to have to check out the Jekyll and Hyde Club.
Yeah. Vampire Cafe in New Orleans. Oh, and we also got reminded of like the resurgence of speakeasies.
Oh, yeah.
And just like kind of secret little nook places that you can go to escape that has sort of like a feeling of being special and a little bit exclusive. And
there's a great new speakeasy, not new, but there's a great speakeasy in Indianapolis that I've been to a couple of times.
Oh yeah.
Dirt floor, you go down the basement, you have to know the password to get in. It's
fucking
really
cool,
fun. We'll go.
Sister.
We'll go. We'll go. It'll be great.
If they
old-timey drinks too.
And they want to sponsor our show, we'd be so happy to have them.
Yeah, it's fun. Although, you know, can't tell anybody about it.
Of course, it's a total secret. Look at the Jekyll and Hyde Club.
Oh, we have to go there. Look at that. It's leather and
very
dark,
cool. Super dark wood.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that is cool.
Yep. That's pretty neat.
I don't know. Maybe Gen X women are sick of this shit. Should do a tour of immersive spaces to rescue our.
Oh, look, big elephant like head on the wall too. Not a real.
Not real.
But
my
cool.
goodness, that would be sad.
Not a real
cry.
Library.
Is that a shark over the fireplace? If anybody's been here, please give us your review
about this place because we
send us your
like
photos. It's just super stinking cool. So while we keep one foot squarely grounded in reality and taking care of our health and paying attention to what is happening, we are also allowing ourselves moments of joy and fantasy.
Escape.
And trips down memory lane. It's a good time.
Good times.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Sláinte. Happy St. Patty's Day when this comes out. Happy International Women's Day today on the day of our recording. Thanks for doing this with me. It's a good time.
Yeah, good time. I'll see you next time.
Peace. You have been listening to Gen X Women Are Sick of This Shit. Hey, Megan.
Hey, Lesley.
What do people do if they want to find us?
Well, we have a website that people can find us on, and that is genxwomenpod.com. We also have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram account as well. We have a YouTube account where we put YouTube shorts and other little tidbits up there. We have a TikTok account.
I don't talk the tick or tick the talk.
You don't tick the talk?
I do not.
I barely talk the tick, but I did put a TikTok up.
We're explaining the internet to people again. That's okay, though.
It's great.
We need to know how the internet works. people buy merch?
They absolutely can. We have a merch store on the website itself, and we also have an Etsy store too. So they're just pretty easy to find. It's just Gen X Women on Etsy.
And if you are listening to this podcast, presumably you found it somewhere. And while you're there, give us a review.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think.
Throw some stars at us.
That'd be great. We'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Ooh, 5.
Maybe 10.
And also make sure that you are hitting subscribe so that you're notified whenever a new episode drops.
Most important.
We also have a 5 minutes of fame that I think we should tell people about too.
Hell yes. We want to know your stories, your 5 minutes of fame stories. You can send those stories in on the website, or you can call 1-888-GEN-X-POD and leave your story for us, and we will play it live in our next episode. Or 2 or 3.
We'll listen to it on a little red phone, just like Batman.
That'd be cool. Let's get a bat phone.
A bat phone.
I think that's it.
I think you're right.